welcome, everyone. We are so glad that you're joining us today on this Wednesday evening to learn more about our Paralegal Study Certificate Program and your potential path to a paralegal career. My name is Kelly Harrison. I'm the director of our Paralegal Study Certificate Program. And joining me is my colleague, Alana Clanton. She is the manager of our Paralegal Studies Program. And consider us your tour guides during this event today. So also joining us tonight are three of our alumni who will talk about their respective journeys a bit later in the presentation. And I'll turn it over to Alana so she can introduce them.
Hey, thanks, Kelly, for that introduction. As Kelly said, my name's Alana Clanton, and I am the program manager for the Paralegal Studies program. So I am your go-to for questions asked after you're accepted into the program as a student and advising you post-graduation. So with us, we have Miss Joanna Feeney, a Baton Rouge native and LSU and Southern alum. Joanna has had a passion for the law and helping others in the community since childhood. While ambitiously rising from a receptionist position to associate attorney at Gordon McKernan in a decade's time, her next objective was in the making. The determination for a more self-fulfilling direction regarding her passions resulted in her very own law practice. This new aspiration and direction are her own genuine hopes to better serve the community and to provide a more personalized concierge class of service to her clients. At the end of the day, helping others is what I do and love. Also joining us is Miss Andrea Harris. After earning her paralegal study certificate in 2023, Andrea accepted a full-time position as a paralegal in the largest law firm in Northwest Louisiana, where she worked until her family's relocation to Minnesota in 2025. She now works as a paralegal at a premier personal injury firm in downtown Minneapolis, where her new colleagues find her frequent use of y'all to be comically endearing. And third, we have Miss Megan McGee, who completed the Paralegal Studies program in May of 2020 and started working for the U.S. Attorney's Office in October of 2020 as a legal assistant. She now serves as the grand jury coordinator for the Middle District of Louisiana, supporting 5 assistant U.S. attorneys as well. She works with attorneys and federal law enforcement on various federal cases to include drug trafficking, white-collar crime, firearm offenses, child exploitation, immigration, and terrorism. We welcome all these ladies with us tonight to share their stories.
Okay, so a few of our stops that we'll define tonight are we'll define what a paralegal is. We'll give a high-level overview of our program. We'll hear the experiences of the panelists that Alana just introduced. And we'll give you, our audience, an opportunity to participate in a live Q&A session. If you have questions during the webinar, please feel free to put them in the chat and we will address them during the live Q&A session. A common misconception is that paralegals only work in law offices. Oh, I'm sorry. Alana, is this your slide?
Oh, it must be.
I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
No, it's okay. So, what is a paralegal? So, a paralegal is defined by the American Bar Association as a person qualified by education, training, or work experience who is employed or retained by a lawyer, law office, corporation, governmental agency, or other entity, and who perform specifically delegated substantive legal work for which a lawyer is responsible. A paralegal is not an attorney, law clerk, or secretary, though as we all know, in any job you have, you may be required to do, secretarial administrative work, that lovely, 5% other duties that we like to joke about that we all do. So paralegals are going to be the person that does it all in a firm. So it's not restricted to just these things, but just know these are the definitions given by the American Bar Association.
Now it's my turn. A common misconception is that paralegals only work in law offices, but as you can see here, they can work in many different industries that require legal support, anywhere from government to real estate or to healthcare.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics states that the 2024 median pay for a paralegal, and this is nationwide, it's 61,010. So that's just, they didn't have data from last year. So 2024 is the most recent. So that would what you expect from all paralegals, whether it's entry level to a seasoned paralegal. So as you can see, the number of jobs nationwide and the projection for the next decade of openings. And this is going to be the result of people retiring and leaving that workforce. Law firms are going to continue to be the largest employer for paralegals. And with the advancement of technology, including AI, not only AI, but including AI, will make a paralegal more efficient. And this is where you can get more information regarding paralegals and legal assistants and their job outlook.
And for the next few slides, we'll explore what the paralegal's role is. And paralegals, being a vital part of legal teams, require some attributes that are needed to foster success. And some of those attributes include accountability, transparency, reliability, and professionalism. Paralegals are tasked with providing substantive legal support no matter what type of law they practice. However, the type of substantive work can vary. A few of those responsibilities include drafting pleadings, locating witnesses, and client contact. It is crucial to point out here, though, that paralegals absolutely cannot provide legal advice, no matter how much a client prompts and prods you to assist them.
Is that me, Cal?
Yes.
What makes a strong paralegal? So we know what roles paralegals take on, but what would make a strong paralegal? And maybe some of y'all watching, y'all are looking at these qualities and you think, oh, yes, this is exactly what I want. So be organized and detail oriented. Be a multitasker, which we all know you can't, sometimes you can't maybe really do more than one thing at a time, but be able to go from one thing to another. That leads into being flexible and adaptable. Be a team player. You're going to be working in different organizations, whether it's a law firm or a government agency, where you're going to be working with um, other paralegals, attorneys, interacting with the public. Make sure you're on, like I said, you'll have that good attitude, a positive attitude. Be thick skinned. It can be stressful, and there's deadlines and a lot going on, and we just want to make sure that you don't take those things personal, that you just put on that shield of armor and just have a great attitude, and realize that the work's got to get done. Good comprehension and communication, written and verbal. Your attorneys are going to rely on you to draft communication, either whether it's internal or external to a client or something for them to review. So make sure that you have those skills to be able to communicate with those within your firm and outside your firm. Can you go back one more, Alexis, please?
Yes, sorry about that. That was
No, that's okay.
1 second. Oh, it's not letting me go backwards. Let's see. All right, how about that?
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Independent thinker and ability to think outside the box. There will be times where you're going to have to just, um, think ahead or be able to, you might be able to get the answer right away. And so you're just going to have to kind of try to do things on your own, not wait for somebody to tell you what to do, but just kind of go ahead and get started, be that self-starter. And so all this to say is you're still working under the supervision of an attorney. So you never want to do anything without your attorney knowing and giving the okay. And we'll have our panelists speak to that more when we get to their story and the Q&A. But we can go on to the next slide. So we're just going to talk a little bit about LSU's, now that we've talked about what a paralegal does. and whether it's the right fit for you. We want to talk more about our program specifically, the Paralegal Studies Certificate Program, which began in 1982. It's a college level non-credit program, and it's the only non-credit paralegal certificate program in the state approved by the American Bar Association. It's kind of a mouthful. We've been ABA approved since 1993. Our instructors are experienced lawyers and paralegals, and it is guided by an advisory committee of dedicated paralegals, attorneys, and members of the public. And our format for our classes is live online. So we are in Central Time. So our classes are going to be from 6 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. in the evening, Central Time, on Zoom, with class meetings Monday through Thursday. We offer no Friday or weekend classes. Some of our classes are self-paced within the program, but the majority of our classes will be live online. So this is our curriculum. It consists of 10 total courses, and the breakdown is 6 of them are going to be required, with a legal ethics seminar, 2 electives, and an internship. The internship is optional. If you work full-time or cannot get placed with an internship, you are able to take a 3rd elective. And we offer 2 tracks. We are flexible as to whether you can go from full-time to part-time, semester to semester. It's really, you could take up to 5 classes a semester. So if you want to do it full-time and do it within a year, it would be 4 to 5 courses each semester. And if you do part-time, it could take up to 2.5 years if you're just taking 2 courses a semester. And so what will a graduate of the program be able to do? In a minute, we'll hear from the ladies I introduced of what they do, but specifically, these are your goals and objectives. It'll be write clear, effective legal memos and use proper citation, explain the structure of state and federal judicial systems, analyze reported legal opinions, articulate ethical standards of the paralegal profession, describe basic concepts of business, organization, and contract law, do legal research, and recognize the procedure in a civil suit and draft appropriate pleadings.
Okay, now we will pivot to our alumni who will share their experiences with our program and where they are now in their legal careers. And I guess since Megan is right below me on the screen, at least from my perspective, I will ask Megan to go first.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Megan McGee. I graduated the program in May of 2020. So I had kind of a unique experience when I started the program. We were in person. We were having in-person classes, and then COVID happened, and we switched to online. So it was pretty interesting for me when I was in the program, but I have nothing but great things to say about the program. I still have a lot of friends, and I made a lot of connections in the program, and actually got my current job because of a guest speaker that came and spoke at the program. So the U.S. attorney at the time was a guest speaker, and when he was talking about what the paralegals do at their office, I found it pretty interesting. And I wanted to apply, but I was like, I don't know if I really want to do that, or it sounds like a lot of work, and it sounds like really stressful, but I was interested in it. And after I graduated, I applied, and ultimately got hired on, and I've been there ever since. But I don't think I would have been as successful or as confident in applying for that job if I hadn't have had the background of the paralegal program, because I got to take criminal law classes. I took electives that were pertinent to the work that I do now, and I just think it was very helpful in my success currently. So yeah.
Megan, if I may ask, what led you to the program? I know you shared it with me, but I'm wondering if you can share it with everyone on what made you decide on the LSU Paralegal Certificate Program.
Yeah, so I was kind of working in retail and didn't know really what I wanted to do. And I have a background in journalism from LSU. undergrad. And one of my friends had just recently gone through the program and she really enjoyed it. And we were talking one day and she was like, you like to read, you like to write, you love to research. Like, I really think that you would like the paralegal program. And I think you can do it in like a year. Um, and I was like, yeah, I mean, that sounds like it would go by pretty quick. So, I just did my research and talked to my parents about it. And they were like, yeah, you should absolutely do that. And it just seemed like something I'd be interested in. And turns out I was. And rest is history.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Joanna, do you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Joanna Feeney. I completed the program in May of 2014. I did the 1 year track. I absolutely love the program. I was already working at a really big firm in Baton Rouge, a personal injury firm, and was looking for something to give me education, knowledge, and practical experience. One of the other paralegals at the office had told me about the program, and I researched it. And I mean, the education that you get through the LSU continuing, paralegal studies program is amazing. Everything that I still use today, even as an attorney, all the skills that I learned through the program itself, just being detail oriented, the practical use of civil litigation and things like that, even the books and manuals that you get through paralegal school and those little shortcuts, they don't give you those things in law school, and I use those. So it's just a really great career path if you're looking for something to give you some direction. And the teachers are all actual practicing either paralegals or attorneys, so they can give you real life experience on the career itself. So I was very grateful, and I love that you could complete the program in a year and go ahead and start your career. And I mean, literally upon completing the program, you can go ahead and start working, regardless of what field you choose. If it's personal injury, family, or oil and gas, you literally graduate from the program having all the skills you need to start with any type of firm, with that, whether it's small, large, corporate. And I think that's an invaluable skill. I don't think there's a lot of career programs out there that can really say that. So I'm grateful to be a graduate, and I love the program. My assistant is actually about to enroll in the program. My sister is a graduate of the program as well. I'm a very big advocate for it.
Thank you, Joanna. We appreciate your love for us and your willingness to express that over and over again. Keep sending people our way.
Absolutely.
And we will go now to Ms. Andrea Harris to share her experience.
Hey everybody. I guess I'm here for the old people since I went through the program when I was not young, we'll say. Went through the program in 2023, and at that time, I was deciding what to do in terms of a career shift for myself. So I was a college professor for about 15 years and decided I didn't want to do that anymore, as sometimes happens. And so I started thinking about way back when, what did I want to do? And I remembered always being interested in the law. And from there, I started thinking about all the different ways in which my life and my family members' lives have been affected by the law and how the law is applied and interpreted and what people are doing in the legal fields. I have two children with disabilities, so disabilities rights and that sort of thing has always not always, but since my kids were born, been a big part of our family's life and understanding the legislation that's out there has been crucial for making sure that I'm being an advocate for my kids. So that's what led me to the program is wanting that career change, but also wanting to do something that was going to be meaningful for me. Teaching had been meaningful for me, and that's always been a personal requirement for myself that I want to do meaningful work. And even though you're, as a paralegal, you might think, oh, well, I'm not the one really doing the meaningful work. You really are. And you have a lot of opportunities um, to, as we've already talked about, helping people. I wanted to do that, and I have a chance to do that, not in the same way that an attorney does, but in a meaningful way. For me, being a paralegal has been able to connect personally with people. Oftentimes, since I'm in personal injury, I'm talking to people on the worst day of their lives or right after the worst day of their lives. And that may sound kind of scary to some people, but it's not to me, because that's when people most need to talk to somebody, need somebody to listen, to hear their story, and to be able to connect them with the resources they need. And I work for a really great attorney presently who does a lot of good in the community. And so I'm very proud of what I do. So even though a lot of it is, not the stuff that makes the news, it's behind the scenes type of stuff. But I know that what I'm doing matters, and I'm really grateful to the program for giving me the chance to make that career shift, because that's pretty huge to make that kind of shift in life. It's really scary. I know, if you're, you know, even just thinking about trying something new, it can be really scary, but making a midlife career change is pretty daunting. But the program allowed me to make that shift and to do so easily and to immediately be hired upon completion of the program, even though at the time, when I was hired, all I had going for me was the certificate from the program. I didn't have any prior legal experience. So that's what got me in the door to get the interview that got me that job right away. So kudos to the program for doing that. I mean, I will always credit them for giving me that leg up and able to make that huge life switch. And I really love what I do. And if any of this sounds good to you, but you're a little bit skeptical, I'd really encourage you to check out the program, at least give it a shot, and see if it's for you. Because if it is for you, you're going to love the program, and you're going to love what you do once you get that job after you're done with the program.
Thank you so much, Andrea. I will say I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the instructors. I know they're not here on this webinar right now, but we wouldn't be the program we are without them. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And that leads me, before we kind of get into the participant Q&A, if each of y'all could speak to, I guess, two things. One, what is, I know it's not going to be a typical day, but maybe if each of y'all could, and Joanna, since you're a practicing attorney now, either what you did as a paralegal or what your paralegals do in your firm, but what's a typical day like? So our participants could understand that experience, and also what was your experience with the instructors? How easy were they to talk to get advice from, to ask a question, things like that. And it's kind of like a two-part. So let's just first talk about like a day in the life of each of y'all.
I think it's a lot of client contact, taking all the intake information. You are basically the attorney's right-hand man, woman, if so to speak. You help them make sure that their calendar's organized, their hearings are on their calendar, any and all items with regards to deadlines, especially litigation-wise. Prescription is a really big thing. Taking phone calls, messages, making sure clients and, ordering medical records, being very oriented, making sure case files are organized and easy to find all the documentation. If you like being detail oriented, I have a touch of OCD. I love or stuff that's organized. I love bright colors and putting things in alphabetical order and stuff. So my boss loved it. So those kinds of things make it really easy to go into a file, especially if you have bigger files and you're working with other attorneys or bring on new attorneys that haven't even seen that. If you do that, from the get-go for your attorney, then giving the file to a completely new attorney makes it so easy to go through the file and go through the details and things like that. I would say the calendar is one of the most important things, making sure you don't miss deadlines. That's really huge. Calling clients back, keeping your word. When you say you're going to call a client back within 24 hours, make sure your boss does that. Keeps the clients happy, the little things like that. But making sure that you're, doing the investigation, assisting, in every way you can. I mean, these are in some ways people's lives, like, Andrea said, sometimes you're meeting them on the worst day of their life, and having a nice, comforting conversation with them can make it easy to pull the details of the case out of them, which makes it better for them in the long run for the outcome of the case itself, which helps your boss do their job to the best of their ability.
Thanks. Yeah, that that's a lot of work they do.
Yeah.
But I think you hit on everything that they would typically run into. Megan, you come from a different perspective. You don't do personal injury, you're on the federal government side. So how does your day look?
So I'll piggyback on what Joanna said because we do a lot of the same stuff. Tracking calendars, deadlines, drafting pleadings, stuff like that. But we are more in contact with the federal court staff. We're communicating with the judges, courtroom deputies a lot. We're communicating with, federal law enforcement agents, and their, paralegals and analysts and stuff like that on cases. So it's a lot of the same stuff, but I feel like I'm a little spoiled in the federal government because I don't have to worry about state court really that much. Um, so it's a little different. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work, but the attorneys that I work with are so grateful that I can keep them organized and on time for court and prep everything for them. So it sounds overwhelming and it sounds like a lot, but if you can stay organized and you can keep yourself organized, it's going to be easy to organize everything for your attorneys. So
And how about you, Andrea?
Well, I like that it's varied. I get bored easily, so I like that I don't know what every day is going to hold for me, and that's particular, I'm sure, to the jobs that I've accepted and in the firms that I've worked with. But I really enjoy that. So one day could be research based, which I'm a big geek, so I love research. So if my boss says I need to find this out, I'm like, I'm on it. And I enjoy that. So I might spend all day kind of, holed up at my computer doing research, and that's fun. And the next day, I could be meeting clients in person, talking to potential clients. So have a very extroverted day. And it's just all over the place. I never know what's going to happen. And a lot of times, something will come in unexpectedly. So I think I have my day planned out, what I'm supposed to do. But one of the expectations, I think, for paralegals in general is that you be able to immediately shift gears. So, because there might be, a crisis that comes up with one of the cases that you were not working on, and you've got to be able to switch gears and go, okay, now I'm working on this. And I enjoy that. So some days are easier than others. Days where I have to, particularly looking at photographs. We do a lot of wrongful death where I work. So I have those days are hard where I'm logging photographs that show, the damages that were done, both physical, and otherwise to someone. But like today was a good day. I got to talk to a client about a settlement that's really going to help them. It just varies. I never know what's going to happen that day. And for me, that's fun. But again, that's specific to the type of paralegal work that I'm doing, what I chose to do with the firms that I've chosen to work with. So if you like boring, I know there's definitely boring out there too for paralegals.
And we can get just quick, I say quickly, I mean, we still have some time, but I'd love to talk a little bit more about our instructors. I think they are top notch. Our paralegal, the ones who were working paralegals, they've been teaching in our program for many years, and all these ladies have had them as well as our other instructors. Who are still there. So if y'all want to just talk a little bit about the knowledge our instructors bring, their availability and how much they've helped you as a student and even after you've graduated. So Joanne, if you want to go first.
I have nothing but love for all the instructors at the paralegal program, especially Miss Dorothy and Miss Jimmy. They
Mm-hmm.
are completely available to you during the program. They will make sure that not only do you understand the material, but they're going to give you the tools to take with you when you finish the program. And even after the program, even as recently, I'm not even kidding, probably like 4 months ago, I reached out to Jimmy because came across a situation I'd never encountered before, and she gave me some feedback, and it was awesome to get her perspective because she's seen, she's been doing it for over 20, 30 years, I think. And, they're wonderful, they're top notch, their practical experience and knowledge, they will help you no matter whether it's during the program or after the program because they want to make sure that every student that comes through the program is succeeding and will succeed.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will say our instructors, and like you said, Jimmy and Dorothy, they have such a passion for teaching,
Yeah.
number one, but also just imparting their knowledge to their students to make sure their students are prepared and are the best paralegal they could be. And they will always make themselves available after you graduate. And Joanna, I did talk to Jimmy. She's like, I just talked to Joanna. She called me, so it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, so you see, like our instructors love to hear from our students, love to hear from our alumni, and they just want to help our students. So yeah, I think ours are fantastic. And I know our other ladies also have much admiration for those two ladies who are instructors. So Megan, if you want to speak to your experience with our instructors.
Yeah, I mean, very similar experience, like Joanna said. And one thing that stands out to me too is that your instructors really care about your career after you graduate. Dorothy reached out to me several times saying, "Hey, did you find something yet? If you didn't, I have a list of things I think you should apply for. If you need a reference, let me know." So, that is just that's like invaluable to me because I feel like, maybe when you graduate a program, you feel like, I don't know what I want to do, if I want to do personal injury, if I want to do federal government, if I want to do this. And I mean, she was in contact with me until I got my job. And, I'm so thankful that she was staying on top of me and make sure that I was successful. And, all of the instructors are like that. And they're so big on networking with, not only your classmates, but with them as well, and stay in contact with them. And if you
Mm-hmm.
want to switch, paralegal paths to, something else, like that's where you need to go first. And that's who you need to ask because they're going to know who's hiring, and they're going to know if you want to do something specific, they're going to know where to apply. So they're the best.
And Andrea.
Yeah, I don't want to repeat what everybody's already said, but I would definitely agree with everything that's been said. I guess one thing that I would add is that I think that thanks to the instructor's commitment to making sure that we are successful after we leave the program, I think that's it made it so that the first job that I took, even though I didn't have years of experience, in some ways, I had more knowledge and was actually better prepared for certain situations. because I had kind of been a sponge and absorbed, and I had these amazing instructors with all this wisdom and practical experience. So there were times in my first year of being a paralegal where situations arose and other people there working as paralegals at the firm didn't know what to do, even though they'd been doing this job for decades, and I had only been doing it a short time. But I could think back to, oh, wait a second, Dorothy talked about this or Jimmy talked about this, and I could apply that knowledge. And invaluable is definitely the right word, Megan. It's invaluable, what you gain from them. It's I know there are, I'm a former teacher, so I know there are cases where it's like, okay, why am I listening to this person? I could just read this in a book. That's not at all what this is. This
No.
is very different. You're learning from masters of the trade who have just a wealth of knowledge to share with you, stuff that you're not going to be able to read in a book. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of the instructors in the program.
Oh, beautifully said.
We're going to have to share this webinar with them so they can hear how you talk about them without them being present. It's like they really mean this, guys. All right. Well, I guess we can go to the Q&A section now. Do I just click on here? Let me see if this messes the screen up. Do y'all see? No. Okay.
Mhm.
So I will read this first question. It says, "This is my second career. I have a BS in legal studies and have been in human resources for 20 years. Will Blue Book citation be taught, or do I need to learn that before?"
I'm gonna say it's taught. Andrea and Megan and Joanna, y'all could confirm, but I'm pretty sure in legal research, because I learned it when I did the program. So they do still teach Blue Book citation.
Yes, it's taught. You do not need to learn it beforehand, so definitely don't stress about that. Citation will be taught.
Mhm.
And then just the same person who asked the question said she's loving your story, Andrea.
Oh,
So
thank you.
and inspiring someone. How much is the program, and does it include the certification test?
So the cost of the program is 5,810. That's tuition plus any books that are required. Currently, books aren't going to be more than 150. Um, we don't teach to the paralegal certification test. For those that don't know, the National Association for Legal Assistants, they do have a certified paralegal designation that you can test for. It's not required. It's not required to be a paralegal. It is not required, for the program. So we don't teach to that test. So I don't want to speak to that part of it. That certification is separate than what we do. We're a certificate program that we focus on the legal specialty education.
And the next question is, are they having any difficulty helping recent graduates find jobs in the job market? I can take I can take this question. We have a variety of ways that we make sure our students and alumni are aware of what job opportunities there are. We have a LinkedIn page where we post job openings that attorneys send to us, or different sponsors send to us, and that's one way we keep the alumni and the students abreast of what opportunities are out there. We also, I think it was one of you ladies mentioned, Megan, mentioned about Dorothy, one of our instructors. Dorothy Sullivan. She teaches the very last class in the program called the Practicing Paralegal. And she is very instrumental, has her thumb on the pulse of what's going on out there. And she makes sure to let us know of any job openings she hears about. She's very good about connecting with the students one on one to let them know what's available out there as well.
Mhm.
So, Alana, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Sure. We have a LinkedIn page for paralegal students and alumni, and I will get a lot of job postings from firms. Actually, I do have a couple of attorneys in town looking to hire a paralegal. And the opposite is true in the local market. There are more jobs available than paralegals that we can send their way. So join, I would say once you're in the program, join our LinkedIn page. If you're local to Baton Rouge area, for those out of state, unfortunately, I don't have any kind of connections with the job markets outside of Baton Rouge or even Louisiana. But I will say that for our students who are out of state, I've seen where they are being placed into internships and, either offered jobs or getting jobs not long after they finish our program. So we have seen a lot of success for our graduates getting jobs, even in the current market. But going back to, I think all of the panelists mentioned this, staying connected to your instructors and going to them when you either need advice or looking for a job or just want to get tips. That is the biggest advantage you can have. Don't be, I would say, and I say this from personal experience, if you don't make any connection and if you don't like try to find out what's out there for you, there's such a good resource, and they want to share that with you. So definitely keep in touch with your instructor so that you can get those connections.
Okay. The next question is, how valuable would this certificate be for actually obtaining a paralegal job? I think we've touched on that. Additionally, this one would take 2 years for me to get. Why should I choose it instead of one from another school that would only take 6 months? I can, well, we can only speak to our program. I'm not sure what school would only take 6 months, but I would encourage you to make sure that whatever program you attend, make sure it is ABA approved, because when attorneys hire and firms hire paralegals, they do look for that distinction. And our program does not require you to take like the Englishes, the maths, those courses. What what we concentrate on are the legal specialty courses that give you that practical knowledge, practical application, so you can obtain employment upon graduation. And also, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, you don't have to take 2 years if you are able to take 4 to 5 classes each semester, then you can complete the program in 1 year. And when we say those 4 to 5 classes, Alana mentioned this early on in the webinar. Our classes are Monday through Thursday. The live online courses are Monday through Thursday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. in the evening. So we purposely structure the program to be after traditional work hours to make it as accessible to people who are interested as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Kelly. And Kelly mentioned
Mhm.
it, and it's worth noting the American Bar Association approval. Our school is American Bar Association approved, and if there is a program, and this is just my guess, I don't know which specific program is 6 months. My guess is if it's a 6 month program, it's completely asynchronous. Completely asynchronous programs are not ABA approved. I'm not saying that that's their bad program, but you're not getting that live interaction with your classmates or your instructor. So that's the benefit of taking it with us versus an asynchronous only program. You're getting the ABA approved and you're getting the benefit of instructor interaction.
If I can add,
Mhm.
I was able to work and, have a family that I try to take care of occasionally, and complete the program in a year. So it doesn't have to be 2 years, but then also, since I know that Kelly and Alana can't say it, I will say that anybody telling you you can get a degree certificate in 6 months that's going to get you a good job that's not true. That's not accurate. Because attorneys at the firms that are looking for paralegals are going to pay attention to what kind of program you went to. And if you went to somebody, advertising online, oh, we can get you the certificate in 6 months, that's not going to get you in the door at the type of place that you want to be working at. So since y'all
And
can't say that, I'll say it.
I might add something too, just like the prestige of having another, like, if you have an undergrad from wherever, but just the prestige of having LSU on your paralegal certificate, like it works wonders. And a lot of the paralegals and legal assistants in my office are from this program as well. So,
Mhm.
it looks good and it is a good program.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
ladies. We try.
Absolutely. All right, the next question. Are there specific legal fields where paralegals are in higher demand?
I Y'all could all chime in. From what I'm seeing, it's all Joanna, because Joanna does probably what personal injury is a lot of what you do, but you do kind of a little bit more. I feel like it's just a lot of everything, like personal injury, med mal,
Family.
litigation, family law. Yeah.
I think there's just a high demand for paralegals in general,
Mm-hmm.
at least in Baton Rouge and the New Orleans area. Depending on what field you want to go into, I don't think you'll really have trouble finding a job once you complete the program.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, it's just a matter of deciding what field you want to go into. Um, what personal injury is totally different than family. Oil and gas is totally different than those two fields as well. So, or working at the Attorney General's office or working with the government or for the state. Everything has its own different pace and experience, but I think the job is always in high demand.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, when I was graduating in 2020, it I felt like it was not, just because of, no one was
Yeah,
hiring
COVID.
COVID.
anybody. Um, but now, like right now, I feel like it is such a good time to pursue this career, because I mean, there's going to be multiple openings in just our office, and
Oh,
a
I
lot,
got the email.
yeah, like a lot of the U.S. attorneys' offices across the country are about to be hiring. So I don't think there's a better time than right now.
Right, next question. Is there an extended program where you can obtain an associate or bachelor degree?
Kelly,
And you want to go on, or you want me to take that one?
you want to take
I
that
can
one?
take it.
Yeah, we can both take it. Short
Okay, yeah.
answer, short answer
Short
for
answer is
us,
no.
no. But we'd be remiss if we don't mention that we are LSU Online. And
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes. So there is no extended program specifically for the legal field with associate to obtain an associate or bachelor's degree. Our program does require you. There's some admission requirements. So when you apply, you have to have what is it, 45 credit hours of undergraduate.
yes.
Yeah, 45 credit hours, with 18 being in general education. If you do not, we do have a small percentage of applicants that we can accept based off of work history, letters of recommendation, and things like that if you don't have that degree. So we do have a small percentage of students we accept through that pathway. We are paralegal studies as part of a broader LSU online and continuing education. So we do have a plethora, for lack of a better word, of bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, post baccalaureate certificates. that are available to all of our students. So, and anyone in general public. So, while it might not be a one-to-one ratio of you have your paralegal studies certificate and then you move on to, um, a post-bac degree or a bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, we
there are
encourage
other
everyone.
opportunities out there. And we
Yeah.
do have the LSU Law School is on campus, is here as well. So if you took our paralegal studies program, graduated from that, and wanted to pursue law school, then you could also go that route.
All right,
Okay, so
we are getting close to time, so we'll go through the last few of these questions. It looks like we have just a few minutes left, so we'll go through as many as we can.
yes. Okay, and that voice you hear from space is Alexis. She is our marketing manager who helped put together this presentation and webinar. So thank you, Alexis, for keeping
Yeah,
us on
thanks,
time.
Alexis.
All right, job placement. What about out of state? I'm in Texas. Alana alluded to that earlier. We typically do not, well, let me put it like this. Our network isn't as broad out of state as it is here, but we are in the process of trying to build that to assist with any needs of our out of state students.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly.
You're welcome. What is the difference between the certified test and the certification?
So I could take that one if you
Okay.
want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the certified test and certification is the same thing. What we do, and I'm going to try to, and ladies, y'all please jump in if I know we got to go through this quickly. So we're the certificate program. So when you're finished, we're a non-credit certificate program, and you'll get a certificate from us. Certified test and a certified paralegal is a completely separate test that's outside of our program that's put on by the National Association for Legal Assistants. It's not required for any paralegal to have. It's optional, I'm not saying don't do it. I mean, some of these ladies might actually have it, but it's not something that's required to be a paralegal. So I don't really want to kind of get off into that because what we do is the paralegal certificate. And can paralegals, oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
Kelly.
no. Go ahead. I didn't know you could see the question. I'm sorry.
Can paralegals work remotely? Yes.
Mhm. Okay, the next one, I have 4 years of paralegal experience focused on nursing home litigation. I had to leave my position due to deployment. With that level of experience, would I be eligible to sit for the exam directly, or would I still be required to complete 1 to 2 years of coursework? Okay, so we don't offer the exam or an exam as far as a certification exam, like Lana said. But if you want to sit for a certification exam, then you might go ahead and visit, that particular organization's site to check their requirements to sit for it.
LOL, Latasha.
Making light from Arkansas. Oh no. We'll move to Louisiana and then you'll be okay. Do you have to do the program 6 to 8, or is it possible to listen to it earlier in the day? Also, is it each day, Monday through Thursday, or only some days of the week? The live online courses are from 6 to 8:30, so you are required to attend those. It's just as if you're in a classroom, but you're doing it over Zoom. So it's basically a virtual classroom. Um, it depends on to your question about whether is it only some days of the week or each day? That depends on your course load. We have one class, well, yeah, one class. You can take one class each day, Monday through Thursday, or you can double up and take one class and then also have a self-paced class between the semester dates. So it's pretty flexible in how you want to pursue your course load. You can take as few as one class, or as many as 4 to 5 a semester. Will you share this PowerPoint slide?
Yes.
Yes. Everyone who registered for the webinar will receive a copy of this slide, the presentation. And you are welcome, Latasha.
Yeah,
We
you're
are glad
welcome.
that we could be here and do this for you guys. And I think that's it. Did we make it? We have 4 minutes
Yeah, we
to
made it.
spare.
Yeah.
So everyone, we want to thank y'all for joining us tonight, and thanks to these wonderful ladies who have given their time. I know they're all doing work, either they're in court or have trial or have family. So I appreciate y'all taking this hour to be with us tonight. For those applicants, if you apply by July 27th, classes will start this fall. So just get your applications in by that deadline. This is my contact information, and this is also the information for our recruitment center. So if you don't get directly with me, you can get in touch. I have a fabulous recruitment colleague, Ms. Jasmine Jones, who is just phenomenal in helping all of our applicants get the answers to their questions and get them to me, so y'all can apply by the deadline. So either Jasmine or myself could help you get there if you do have any questions. And
Thank
thanks,
you guys
everyone.
again. Yes, and we'd love for you to be a part of our program so that for the next webinar in maybe a couple of years, you'll be able to sit on this panel and share your experiences as well. So we are here for you whenever you are ready. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.